Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. I am trying so hard to make familiars work with High Tide. This is basically mono blue High Tide splashing for Sunscape familiar, as well as sideboard cards of Godpharaoh's Faithful, Dawnbringer Cleric, and Thraben Charm. These can help versus some decks. And our deck is playing 8 cantrips with 4 Preordain and 4 Brainstorm, which has changed from the previous video where I took it to the challenge. We're also playing some Chanceries, making our snaps a little bit better. And then the 4 High Tide, 4 Merchant Scroll, we're looking to try to win on turn 4. We have 4 Archaeomancer, a Compulsive Research to win the game, or we can just draw our deck, present Archaeomancer, Muldrifter with infinite counter spells. We also have 4 Lorien Revealed, which work pretty well with the Brainstorm. So Brainstorm can be turned online through Scroll, Lorien, or the Landscape. I've been trying to break familiars. It doesn't seem to be the most broken version of High Tide, but let's see how it runs in this league. I'll see you there. Brave New Worlds in Philadelphia is hosting a Pauper 1K on April 27th. The prizes are going to go up if we get more than 25 players. Check out all the details in the description. Thanks for watching. Did you know you could get sideboard guides on patreon.com/Kalikaiz? And did I mention you can get early access to videos on the YouTube page in the membership section? And if you like these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. Here we are in round 1. We're on the play. We have a High Tide and a Preordain. Let's keep. Should I play the Floodplain first? I wonder if maybe it's just better to use the cantrips. I should probably play the Floodplain first. Who am I kidding? Get the tap land out of the way. They're on blue-red. Let's Preordain. Definitely don't want to land. I'll take another Drifter and pass the turn. Probably just looking to evoke the Drifter on turn 3. They play an Island, leaving up Counterspell. We have a Merchant Scroll. Okay, so I can try a Merchant Scroll. I should probably put Giga Drowse in my main deck. I did not. My opponent probably will Counterspell it. They did not. So we can try like a Negate or Brainstorm, or just get the High Tide. High Tide turns their lands on. So let's take the Counterspell. Pass the turn. They cycle, grabbing another Island. Plays a Volatile Fjord. Okay. We have a Negate. I'll play my land and pass. I am hoping I can draw another land, but if I can't, I'll have to evoke the Muldrifter. They play a Perilous Landscape. We go up to 7 cards in hand. Is it a land? It's a Brainstorm. I'll try Brainstorm. Okay, that was pretty good. So, put back... I don't even know if I want to shuffle these. I could put back the Island and the Chancery and then shuffle, or I can put back Island, Landscape, play the Chancery, picking up the Island, next turn play the Landscape. Island, Landscape, play the Chancery. Because I really just want to make land drops for a long time. Pass the turn. Our opponent Brainstorms, and they grab an Island. So here they could Monarch plus Dispel. They know I have Counterspell in hand. Murmuring Mystic, I'll just try the Counterspell. Getting them to tap out would be cool. Use a Spell Pierce. Okay. So should I High Tide? High Tide, cast the Muldrifter. I'm drawing an Island. So let's just play the Landscape, sacrifice it for an Island, and then cast a Muldrifter. Preordain, Merchant Scroll. I assume they're going to have a removal spell for the Drifter, unfortunately. They play an Augur of Bolas. They find a Counterspell. Kills the Muldrifter. They get in for 1. Familiar would be good here. Brainstorm again. Let's cast the Brainstorm. We can use Scroll to clear the Brainstorm. So if they use their Counterspell right now, we can go High Tide, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 mana. Merchant Scroll for Snap. I'll have 6 mana. Play Archaeomancer, get the High Tide. That's not enough. Okay, we found a familiar. Let's put back Preordain and a Scroll. Because I think this wins if the familiar resolves. Maybe not. We play the familiar. I can scroll for another Negate. Scroll. If they counterspell the scroll, I can go High Tide, negate the scroll. Let me think. I have 4 mana, High Tide, negate the counterspell, scroll for snap, snap your creature. All right, we're gonna do it. Cast High Tide, cast a negate on the counterspell, Mystic. We grab a snap. We have 3 mana. Snap the Mystic. Is it? I'll go back to 6 mana. Snap the Mystic. Untap. Archaeomancer. I have 3 mana left over. Then I can Drifter, Snap Drifter, then play Archaeomancer for the counterspell. Play Archaeomancer. Get the Snap. We will evoke the Drifter. Draw 2. Snap the Mole Drifter. 4 mana. What do I got now? No land drops. So let's just cast a Mole Drifter. We sort of came out ahead there. I need to probably play Mancer for the negate and then Mancer for like a scroll for a flicker, and then I can snap their whole board. They use a breath weapon. And then kill my familiar. Play a Tolarian Terror. Getting in for 1. Start with Archaeomancer. Getting the High Tide. Then let's Compulsive myself. Discard a land card. This one. Play a land. Next turn, try to win, I guess. We know they have Mystic in hand. They're getting in. I'll block. How many more counters do they have in hand, I guess? That's the question. They're playing Azure Fleet Admiral, so they're likely just dead. Opponent becomes the Monarch. They draw a card. So if I High Tide, that gives them the ability to cast a counterspell. I'll cast High Tide. Cast another High Tide. Play Archaeomancer. We'll grab a negate. So I have 2 active High Tides. I can snap the Admiral. Try Ghostly Flicker on the Archaeomancers. Their Singleton Volatile Fjord is a problem. Get back a High Tide. Get back a Flicker. Cast a High Tide. Flicker again. Now I'm going to get a Counterspell. Flicker. Get back Counterspell. Snap this thing. They are F6'd. So I just win, I guess. Flicker. Get back the negate. Where are we? Get back Flicker. And we don't have another negate. So I guess I can get back a scroll. And then Flicker here. We'll get back a snap. I guess my opponent just has nothing. That's cool. Now I just have to execute. Pop this off the battlefield. Make infinite mana. I guess I should probably preordain looking for a familiar. Have I played a land this turn? I don't know. Let's bottom and top. Did not play land. Perfect. Get back to familiar. Play the Mancer for the snap. Snap it again. Lorien Revealed draws 3. And now familiar. Now it's a lot easier. Archaeomancer. Get back the snap. Snap this Mancer. And I'll make infinite mana for a minute here. Let's flicker and get back the Mole Drifters. So I put the Mole Drifters on top. Drifter. Get back the Archaeomancer. And the Drifter. And then just draw 3, drawing all my cards. The Archaeomancer. Get back, snap, whatever. Snap this thing. And tap some lands. Mole Drifter. Let's make more mana. Mole Drifter again. Cast another Mole Drifter. Trying to find a familiar. There we go. Play the FAM. Now everything's easy peasy. Archaeomancer for snap. We'll untap all the lands. I'll play my Archaeomancer for a High Tide. I'll cast the Merchant Scroll to grab a Flicker. I could snap their creature. I guess it's worth it. Flicker. Snap your creature. And then my goal is to just counterspell lock you. Bounce this. Untap. Let's look for the next Mole Drifter. I actually could get back, I could get back the Brainstorm and then use the Merchant Scroll, but we'll just dig a little bit. Preordain. Top that one, bottom the Chancery. I'm using so much time. Another Mancer. Get back to Preordain. Preordain. There we go. Play the Familiar, or the Muldrifter, and then untap my lands with Flicker. Okay, I'm done. Get rid of land, Brainstorm, Scroll, Lorien, High Tide. Opponent casts a Brainstorm, I'll just counter. My goal is to counter everything they do. They pass to the end step. So we'll Flicker and return the negate. They Breath Weapon, I'll negate. Plays a Lightning Bolt. Kind of annoying, but all I have to do is just Flicker here. Get back to Flicker. So negate the Breath Weapon resolves. Flicker is going to resolve getting back the Flicker. We're going to make 3 mana. I'll Flicker back the 2 negates and then Flicker back a Lorien Revealed so that I can just go ahead and fetch out another island. Okay, I got the Lorien, got the negates. We'll grab an island. Play island. Attack. Pass. We will discard Scroll and Familiar. Or just Familiar and Familiar. We can use the Mortuary Mire to not deck out. We have 8 power in the air, so we don't really have to worry about anything in the ground. I have a lot of things I want to bring in. Like, I really want to bring in the Giga Drows and some more counter spells. But I don't really know how I'm going to, like, sideboard. I feel like my entire main deck is pretty well set up. Maybe we can trim a Brainstorm for a Giga Drows and then a Merchant Scroll for a counter spell. Our opponent casts a Brainstorm. We'll counter. They cast an Augur. We'll counter. They cast a counter. We'll counter. They pass the turn. All right, F6 and attack you. I could maybe have accomplished all that a little bit faster. So I do want the Giga Drows. Let's trim some extra copies of things. Probably want to compulsive kill them. 1 Scroll, 1 Brainstorm. I've cut these out. Can bring in Negate and Dispel. Maybe I cut even 1 more Scroll. Bring in another Negate. Or just the counterspell. Okay. Well, we have Giga Drows in hand. No way to draw cards. But we have lands. So let's just keep and then focus on making land drops. Our opponent plays a Fjord. I'll play the landscape and then sacrifice it for an island to make sure that we get 1 out of the deck. They play a mountain. Augur of Bolas coming down. Ponder is the find with a counterspell. I'll play the Floodplain and pass. So soon I will have counterspells, and then we're just looking to cantrip a bit if I can find some cantrips off the top. Interestingly, they shuffled before they cast the Ponder. Cast a Relic. Okay. Gets rid of my card. Casting a Ponder. So I don't particularly think that Relic is good in a Terror deck, but you can do what you want to do. You can do what you want to do. I can Giga Drows out their lands, and that will stop them from being able to Relic me. Okay. Preordain is good. High Tide Scroll. Do I want the Scroll? I do like the High Tide, but we're far from doing anything with it. I could Scroll for a Brainstorm, so maybe it's worth it. But we're, once again, I'm kind of far from accomplishing anything. I'll just top both. Play the island. Pass. Our opponent plays a land. Let's see if they have a 4-drop. They cycle a Lorien. They're passing the turn. Or just attacking, I guess, not passing. We're at 18. I have 18 turns to figure out a way to get through before I die to this Augur of Bolas. I'm going to try Scroll for a Brainstorm. Passing the turn. Now they can Relic my Scroll. They have 5 mana. Scroll is gone. They continue to pass. I'll try a Brainstorm. I'm trying to find lands. Okay, we found some lands. I think I can put back the 2 Flickers. Or a Flicker and... Actually, the Flicker is pretty good. I don't want to discard the Lorien Revealed. I'll put back the 2 Flickers. Play the Chancery. Pick up the island. And then I guess I will maybe discard and negate. So we have Counterspell plus Dispel. They relic away a brainstorm. Are they dead this turn? They played out a Murmuring Mystic. So I can Giga Drowse your 2 lands. Then on my turn, go High Tide, Mancer, High Tide, Flicker. I think because I kept the Flicker in hand, it's a problem. I guess I just try to counterspell this then. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 4 okay, let's think this through. Oh, this is really tough. I'll try to explain my thought process out loud. High Tide, 8 mana. Mancer, 4 mana. High Tide. Then I have 3, 4 mana left over. I can flicker the Mancer for the High Tide. That doesn't do it. So let's just try a counterspell. They use a Pyroblast. I'll use a Dispel. Okay. My turn. Play the land. Pass the turn. I could also Giga Drowse right now and then draw 3 with the Lorien revealed. Might not be good enough though. Relic gets rid of Counterspell. They have so many lands in play. Okay, they played a Tolarian Terror. Cool. We will attempt to Giga Drowse. Target this one. I guess I'll just double target their Volatile Fjord. I have 5 copies. I think they're dead if the Giga Drowse resolves. Tap, tap, tap. Same targets. And then maybe it doesn't, and then they just have like, they're tapping all their lands. I guess maybe they use the Relic now. Do you have like a Flicker? They crack the Relic. Okay. So I draw the Flicker. Go High Tide. Archaeomancer. Get the High Tide. Cast High Tide again. Go see Flicker. Return the High Tide. Cast High Tide. Make infinite mana. I guess maybe I should have made white. So let's do that. Float a white. Flicker. So we can at least draw 6 cards here because I can cast the Lorien Reveal 2 times. I also have to win in time, which is going to be hard. Now I have... just want to keep floating that white. Okay, Flicker. Cast the Lorien Revealed. Draw 3 cards. Found an Archaeomancer. So now I can... what should I do? Scroll for Tide. Scroll. Get High Tide. Cast the High Tide. Flicker. Archaeomancer. We'll get the Merchant Scroll. Cast the Merchant Scroll. Grab the Snap. And then snap my Archaeomancer. This makes mana faster on tap. I probably need to start getting more High Tides. Mancer. Get the High Tide. Cast it. Flicker. We have 6 minutes left. Why am I doing this to myself? Get the High Tide. Cast High Tide. It taps for 7 right now. Flicker, get High Tide. Get Flicker. Cast High Tide. Get the Flicker. Oh my goodness. Now I'm flickering to get back a Lorien Revealed. 5 minutes on clock. Draw a bunch of cards. Brainstorm. Put back these 2. Flicker here. I have exactly 2 left, so I can get back Snap. Snap this one. Untap. Play the Familiar. Mancer. Get back the Lorien. Cast it. Brainstorm again. These 2 back. Flicker. Get back Snap. Get back Flicker. I have Compulsive Research now. 4 minutes. Let's draw 3. Draw another 3. Discard a land. Preordain. Mancer on the top. Bottom that. Preordain. Looking for a Familiar. I guess I have to just try to win through Beatdown. Cast a Muldrifter. I don't know if I can do this whole combo this fast. Cast another Muldrifter. Okay, cast another Muldrifter. Cast another Muldrifter. Oh, Jesus. Oh, jeez. Preordain. Where's a Familiar? Bottom, bottom. No FAMS. Mancer. Get Preordain. Why do I do this to myself? Preordain. There we go. Top. Top. Familiar. Snap this. Pay the ward. Untap. Where am I? Get the negates. I got a counterspell. Let's flicker here. Get scroll. Flicker for flicker. Flicker for what? Snap. Scroll. Get the negate. Untap all my lands. Do not have enough time to compulsive them. Flicker. Oops. Play the Arcane Answer for a scroll. If anything left to get, scroll. Snap. That's the turn. So the only thing that I care about is flying blockers. I'll counterspell your Brainstorm. They're casting a bolt on a familiar. I'll flicker. Back to flicker. Okay. Bolt's a drifter. I'll flicker. Get back flicker. Found another familiar and the Mancer. Okay. Play Mancer. Turn negate. Play island. Attack with everything. And then we will discard the familiar. This would have been way, way better in paper. Make infinite mana, draw my deck, kill you. They have a terror and 2 unknowns. Counterspell. Tolarian Terror is fine. They have another Tolarian Terror. We'll counterspell. Snap this thing. Untap. GG. Flicker here. Get back the snap. And the flicker. And then bounce this thing. Pay the ward, untap the lands, and attack. That's exactly 11. That was a long match. I'll go to round 2. Round 2 versus Trezzurker. I'll keep. You have no wonder if I should be playing the Floodplain per turn 1. I think so. Be playing Island. I'll try a Preordain. If they spell pierce me, I will be bummed, but they didn't spell pierce me. So I think both of these are good. Top. Play a land. They play another island. And a Modern Age. Don't know what that means. Could be anything. Discarding Snacker. Let's play the Chancery. Pick up this. Probably they are on Dimir Snacker stuff. Could be a Dimir Terror. Could be the Dimir Terror, like Snacker Fae. They're going to loot again. Okay, it's Dimir of some kind. Playing an island. Have a negate. I think I'll pass. Okay. Vector Glider flips over. My turn. Let's try to compulsive. I can protect it with the negate. Discarding a land. I can just snap the Vector Glider. Bounce it. I just have too many snaps in my hand. I was gonna have to discard anyway. Then I can negate it on the way down, maybe. Then I can Mancer for the negate. Plays a Seething Landscape, so that will grab them their swamp. Let's counterspell the Modern Age. I use a counterspell. Yeah, that's fine, I think. If we find a High Tide, maybe we can win right now. They discard a Snuff Out. High Tide off the top. Otherwise, I'll probably just Mancer for Preordain and cast the Preordain. Although, maybe Compulsive is better. Could also Mancer for the negate. Okay, I have a scroll. Let's Arcane Mancer. Get the Preordain. Cast the Preordain. Familiar and a Plains. I'll bottom the Plains, top the Familiar, then go ahead and pick up an island. They're going to loot. Wonder if the Snacker will come back this turn. Discarding an island. Plays the black land. They have 2 Snuff Outs in the graveyard. Does that mean that they didn't respect and they did not keep a Snuff Out whatsoever? Let's try FAM. Counterspell. Okay, so let's try Merchant Scroll. And I'm going to get a Counterspell. Mortuary Mire. Return the Familiar. We'll get in for 1. So next turn I can like play the FAM, snap and replay the Arcane Answer. Grabbing something. I don't think we really needed to get the High Tide just yet. Counterspell seems like a useful plan here. They grab another swamp. So 2 counters down. They have 2 counterspells and 4 spell setters in their deck left. They cast an Angler. That's fine. I'm going to play an island, play a Familiar. So should I try to snap and replay the Arcane Answer? If they have counterspell plus a removal spell, it's a problem. I can like snap it on their turn and block and snap it. They have a Snuff Out. Okay. That's the 3rd Snuff Out. They were Snuff Out flooded. Getting in. I'll block. Attempt to snap my Archaeomancer. They have a cast down. Try to snap it again. Spell Pierce, that's a problem. It's pretty annoying. Okay. We actually can cycle the landscape here, which is cool. Finding a Drifter. So let's snap the Angler and then cast a Drifter. Bounce this thing. Untap. And here's a Drifter. So we need more Mancers and High Tides and everything. Just not really in a position to win the game. Double High Tide. So one Archaeomancer could win. Merchant Scroll could... okay. Never mind. They bog me. Should I do anything here? Get in for 2. They have Angler and 3 unknowns. I'll play my island. Maybe it's not worth it. I don't know. I need to find some draw spell. We have Lorien Revealed. We have Brainstorms. So given that I have Brainstorms on the deck, I probably should not be playing things out from hand. They cast a Brainstorm of their own. Just try Counterspell. They did not attack. We have a Familiar. Play the Familiar. Now they've got a second Brainstorm. So Snacker is back on the table. They kind of have a fresh hand. They decline to attack. We have another Drifter. Try Drifty. They found a Counterspell. That's the third Counterspell in their deck. They have not shuffled at all, so they just drew a triple Snuff Out, triple Counterspell. Dang. They attack for 4. Sorry, I really expected an Okiva game there. Now they just have a Lorien again. Gross. We'll go to the next game. I think I want to bring in the Faithfuls. Maybe 2 Faithfuls. Counterspell. Multiple negates. And get rid of the scrolls. Get rid of maybe 1 Archaeomancer. Maybe 1 Snap. Actually, I want the Giga Drowse, right? So maybe I can just get through it. But they have all these Snuff Outs, so that's a problem. Really need the Giga Drowse. Bring these back in. So cut the Faithfuls. 1 Snap. Maybe I can afford to cut a single High Tide. So I have 5 action for the High Tide combo. I have the Giga Drowse. I have a ridiculous amount of counterspells. Trying to actually resolve some spells this time. Here we go. Okay, let's keep. My plan is to Brainstorm away the Giga Drowse for the moment. Pass. They go ahead and fetch turn 1. Getting an island. We find Archaeomancer. I'll play this. Try Brainstorm. We'll get rid of... So, maybe we can win? Get rid of Brainstorm. Should I get rid of the Drifter? I don't think so. Just get rid of... Man, this is tough. I can't win on turn 3 regardless, I think. I'll get rid of the second Brainstorm. We'll pass the turn. We'll see if our opponent wants to leave up like a Spell Stutter. If they do. Could also leave up Counterspell here. I'll fetch then. Grab the planes. Archaeomancer off the top. Not great. They're brainstorming. So I think I actually have to Giga Drowse them so that I can even just resolve this Mulldrifter. Plays a swamp. We'll replicate the Giga Drowse and tap their islands. Okay, evoke a Drifter. Looking for lands. There we go, we found one. I'll pass the turn. Now I can like Mancer for the Giga Drowse again. And then try to Giga Drowse them. And see if I can combo through what they're doing. Oh, they've got a Bojuka Bog. So that's not going to be the case. I have a negate. I'll try to evoke a Drifter again. I just have a counterspell. Maybe I could have gone High Tide into evoke the Drifter plus negate. They would have had multiple answers. They slam the Monarch here. I'm going to be so sad. Modern Age. So they have Spell Stutter available. Play my Floodplain. Pass the turn. What can I do? I can High Tide, Mancer for the High Tide, snap the Mancer, Mancer for the High Tide, Flicker, make infinite. But I don't know like what we're accomplishing that way. And it looks like our opponent will now have enough to Spell Stutter me. They discard a Thorn of the Black Rose and then cycle. They also put Focus the Mind and Thorn in the graveyard. They have 2 islands. I'll play an island. I don't have anything going on. Even if I tried to combo, I have no way to draw cards. That Bajuka Bog wrecked me badly. Our opponent attacks for 2. They've got an angler. Sure. Let's attempt to snap the angler, I guess. Snap. That resolves. Play Archaeomancer to try to return the snap. They have a negate, or a counterspell. I'll try my negate. Here comes a Spell Center Sprite. I'll grab the snap. They didn't have the Spell Center Sprite that time. Sort of surprising. End step Brainstorm. I'm not going to do anything this turn, I think. They have 6 men in play. Getting in. Alright, GG. Okay, here we go. Round 3. Got absolutely demolished in the previous round. This hand's probably fine. We can fetch an island, then preordain plus play the Chancery. Double High Tide means we are very close to just winning. I'm having a lot of trouble finding the balance between like an effective mid-range control deck and an effective combo deck. And I think that I'm not sure if there's room for it in the for High Tide in Familiars. Sort of just makes it worse. Right now we're just trying to be a High Tide deck that plays Familiars. Coco Loco, what are you gonna do? You play a bridge. I don't like that very much. That means that they could have Wildfire. We'll grab an island. Let's I guess preordain. Drawing the Lorien is interesting because I could have cycled trying to not get got there. I'll bottom and I guess top, then play out the island. I guess one thing I can do is I can scroll for a counterspell. Then I can counterspell, or I guess a negate. Looks like they're on, okay, Vault of Whispers. It'd be Jund Affinity or just a Wildfire deck. It's a Wildfire deck. They grab a forest. So just regular Wildfire. Looking to play out Chrysalises and nonsense like that. Muldrifter. Let's Merchant Scroll. Grabbing a snap. Play the Chancery. Pick up the island. Hope they don't kill my land. Can High Tide, Drifter Snap. No, that's not enough. High Tide, 5 mana. High Tide, 3, 4, 5 mana. So it would be Drifter Snap Drifter. That actually would work. I don't know if we need to go off on turn 3 though. They play a Wellspring. They're not going to have a refurb this turn, most likely. Slagwood Bridge could be anything. Like they could have a removal spell potentially. Alright, they have a swamp, so are we going to get refurbed? They're going to Wildfire my land. They Wildfire their own land. Okay, now I feel like I should go for it. But they could have a Snuff Out, so maybe not. I could High Tide into cast the Drifter. Or I could just evoke the Drifter, play the Mortuary Mire, and get it back. Draw a land. What's the likelihood that they have a Snuff Out? I guess pretty high. High Tide? High Tide? They're F6'd. Evoke a Drifter. Draw 2. Snap the Muldrifter. Untap. We have 6 mana. I think I should just draw 3 cards. Whee! Alright, pass the turn. Discard 1 island. Next turn I can Familiar Scroll for negate. They play a refurb. Okay, I will get rid of this scroll, I guess. Stupid refurb. They use an Eviscerer's Insight. Well, actually, I suppose I could Familiar into Mancer for High Tide. Or I could just Mancer for High Tide right now. Could have discarded the Familiar. Probably the best bet is just play the Muldrifter this turn. Looks like they have a Duress or something. People are only grinding right now, I guess. They play out a Nile Spellbomb. And then they immediately crack it. So we're down 2 High Tides and 2 Scrolls. But they can't draw off their Spellbomb. I was hoping not to play so many grindy matchups. Oh god. The grinding. Alright. Let's just slam a Drifter. Go back to 7 cards in hand. Our opponent kills my Muldrifter. So we can put the Muldrifter back with the Mortuary Mire and then draw 3 cards if we want. We play a Blood Fountain. They Eviscerer's Insight their Blood token. Draw 2. They're at 7 cards in hand. And a Swamp enters the battlefield. Here comes a Nyxborn Hydra. Huh. Okay. Let's see what I draw. Best draws maybe a High Tide. Drew nothing. So I'll go familiar, play the land, draw 3 cards. We'll get rid of the landscape. Found a counterspell. So now I can, like, try to preordain into a high tide. They kill my creature. It's like, opponent, please take actions. I'm ready. Ah, they have another Hydra. How big is this? 7. They left open a mountain. Why? Okay, Mire. Return the familiar. We can brainstorm. Put back land. Play the familiar. And then we'll cast Preordain to get past the lands. We have double flicker. They have another galvanic. They should have just galvanic face, right? Am I wrong? Sure, counterspell. Were they galvanicing face? They went, alright, whatever. Bottom. I mean, I think I'm dead. Looks like we have multiple, we have like a snaps thing we can do, maybe. They will put me to do 2 here. Another Nyxborn Hydra kills me. Plenty of things get me dead. They scry to the bottom after playing a Lembas. 3 cards in hand. I don't understand what just happened. They blood fountained to get back nothing? What? Okay, I'm probably dead, that means, I think. Somehow I'm not dead. I'm going to start by evoking the Drifter. They're F6. Snap the Drifter. Untap. Now, I can do something weird here. Play the familiar. Play out the Mancer. Get back the snap. Snap the refurb. Untap. Play Archaeomancer. Get back snap. Snap this thing. Untap. Flicker here. Get back snap. Snap this one. Untap. Let's just cast the Mole Drifter. High Tide would win. Find another familiar. Play island. See if I can brainstorm into a High Tide. Find a negate. So let's put back brainstorm and Archaeomancer. Play the familiar. And then flicker here. Or flicker here. And then we have negate open. We can like discard the brainstorm. They cast a refurb, that's fine. I'll discard Archaeomancer. They cycle a landscape. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. They cleansing Wildfire their bridge, that's fine. So unfortunately, I think it behooves me to try and counterspell lock my opponent. Looks like they're tapping out. Fanatical Offering on the Lembas, that's fine. I guess they could have a snuff out, so I should probably not flicker right now. Or I could flicker here. Start by flickering, drawing some cards. Get back the flicker. Find another familiar. Flicker some more. There's a scroll. Okay, scroll. Get High Tide. Play the High Tide. Cycle this. Island. Play the island. You can flicker these 2. Get back flicker and flicker. Then get back the High Tide. Okay, High Tide comes back. Flicker again. Get back the snap. Snap your creature. Cast a High Tide. Cast a familiar. We put our other creature on top of the deck. Putting the Mole Drifter on top. We put back the Mancer. We make some mana. I should probably snap one of these familiars back. That's too many familiars. We need to have a familiar to discard to hand size. Okay, cast the Mole Drifter. Draw cards. Cast a Mole Drifter. Draw cards. Cast Archaeomancer. Get back the counterspell. Flicker these 2. Get back the snap. We'll snap the Mancer to untap all the lands. Okay, last lands are untapping. Try Brainstorm. Get rid of familiar land. Play Archaeomancer. Just grab a High Tide. A little bit more mana for it now. Scroll. Take another Brainstorm, I guess. Preordain. Another Mancer. That's good. Play the Mancer. Get back the snap. Cast a Preordain again. Bottom some lands. Trying to find that last familiar, or Mole Drifter. Put back these 2. Cast the Drifter. We have infinite counter spells, so all we just have to do is untap all my lands. Pass the turn. I can discard, let's see, Floodplain, and I guess High Tide. Maybe it's just the Snap. Discard the Snap. So the first spell they cast, we cast High Tide in response, and then I'll just try to counterspell everything. I can also go like High Tide, Flicker for High Tide again, and then counterspell everything. They play a Limbus, I'll negate. Wait, no, I forgot. Cast a High Tide. Flicker. We'll get High Tide. And the Flicker. Cast the High Tide, and then I will go ahead and negate the Limbus. Jiminy Crickets. They Fanatical, I'll counter. They cast down. So we'll Flicker. Get back the second Flicker and a Snap. Oops. Cast High Tide. Y'all counter that nonsense. Get it out of here. Counter the Refurb. They play a Bridge. They have 2 Hydras in hand and 2 Unknowns. 1 Insight in the graveyard. So now I just have to flicker back my spells. Took me like 30 seconds to do that. My turn. Play Island. We'll swing in. It's funny because I don't know why people don't concede. It's like, you can't, there's nothing you can do. It's just, you're wasting everybody's time. Maybe I'm wasting their time. Forgot I should cast a High Tide off the Chancery here first. Cast a High Tide. We're just not going to let anything at all resolve. Negate the Limbus. They cycle a Landscape, 4 cards still in hand. 2 of them are Hydras. We'll negate the Blood Fountain. They play a land, so they just have 2 Hydras in hand. They're going to cast a Hydra, and then we'll counterspell it. The grind is real. Counterspell, and I want to get back 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll start flickering. 14:27 on clock. Okay, great. There's a server lag. Darn. Okay, we got everything back. I'll take a turn. The last card in their hand is a Hydra. Do I have any islands left? I do. I can play the island and attack in. I guess since I didn't need to do all that, I forgot that they were 8. We win the game. Opponent, they've used 12:20 on clock, so they probably don't have time to win a second game, like the next 2 games. Bring in negates and counterspells, cutting 2 scrolls. Gigadrows could also be good, but it's maybe a bit sketchy. Cut 1 Snap. Just thinking that even, like, I can Gigadrouse them, but then they still have Snuff Outs, so it disrupts me. Maybe for familiars, it should just be 4 High Tide and 2 scrolls. So then I can take out 4 things for faithfuls. Having a really hard time building this deck. All right, let's go. Floodplain, Landscape, we have negates. We don't have Hydroblast though. They lead on Vault of Whispers, probably a Duress. Blood Fountain. Okay, not a Duress. That means maybe that they're looking to get a quick refurb going. I'll play the Floodplain. Then I guess I'm going to hold up Negate on the next turn. They're blood tokening to discard. Huh. Discard's Toxin Analysis. I have a Brainstorm. Well, let's play the Landscape. I have the option of negating or using the Brainstorm plus fetch. We will negate if this is a draw spell. Yep, that's going to eat a negate. Flicker. I'll play the Island. They have a draw stop. They play another Swamp. They're passing. Now I can Brainstorm. Okay, we'll put back Island. And will it be the Preordain? I think it's going to be the Flicker. Grab an Island. We'll untap. Cast the Preordain. Okay, we have Flicker Drifter. So, I don't think I need the second Drifter. But maybe it's worth it. Top. We're drawing this. We have a land drop lined up for 2 turns in a row. On the next turn, we can scroll for maybe High Tide. Then we can go like High Tide. We play a Wellspring. If my plan is to try to win with Infinite, then I want to save the negate for a Snuff Out, I think. They did not, I mean, they played their land that turn, it looks like. No, they didn't play into land. Scroll. Grab a High Tide. Play the island. And we'll pass. So this is High Tide. 6 mana. High Tide. 6, 7 mana. Mancer. 2 mana. That doesn't work. We play a Wellspring. Okay. We have a negate. Let's just play out a Muldrifter. Trying to find one more land. I will discard. I have to discard 2 cards. Bad. Discard Muldrifter and 1 negate. I can use this second flicker as a ritual. They play a Vault. They scoop. Okay, fair enough. On round 4. Okay, so round 4, I'm going to keep. My opponent has previously been on High Tide, I think. What are they playing? What in the world are they playing? I'll try a Preordain. Lorien negate. Top. They play a Modern Age. Should be able to beat CawGate, I don't know. Prismatic Strands. Let's go land, grab a High Tide. They don't know that we're on FAMS. They're going to loot. I'm very surprised to see them playing, they're a Cycle Storm player, and they're playing CawGate over here. They Preordain, top bottom, play a Guild Gate. Let's brainstorm. This can get rid of the Mortuary Mire. Get rid of Mire, and is it going to be Preordain or the island? I think it's Preordain. Cycle. Grab the Floodplain, play it. They brainstorm. Maybe I should have gotten rid of the extra Muldrifter. Plays a Citadel Gate on blue. They're passing, leaving up counterspells. We have a Chancery. Let's scroll. They're F6. Grab a High Tide. I'll play Island. Pass the turn. They've got a gate. They skip their combat phase. I'll cycle for an island. Play it. Will they gate their creature? They get in for 2. Okay. So let's play Chancery. Pick up this. Cast a Brainstorm. We don't really have anything going on. So I'll put back Island, Landscape. Pass the turn. We will discard the plains. They gate their creature. Okay. Well, I'll just go ahead and snap it then. Wait, I want to snap it. I think so. Snap. Untap. I can negate it. Then they won't have any creatures and I can just play a Muldrifter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's play Landscape. Cast a Muldrifter. We're leaving open the Landscape in case they don't counter this. But they probably will. We'll attempt to negate. They might have Spell Pierce. They did not. Alright. They play a Sacred Cat. And, I mean, they could have looted away the cat. And then that would have gotten them value. They're going to loot with the Modern Age. So if I play a High Tide, they will have 4 blue mana available. They discard a Modern Age. Casting a Journey to Nowhere. Gets rid of my Muldrifter. We have a Familiar. I'll cast a Familiar. Play an island. Evoke the Muldrifter. Draw 2. Snap the Drifty. Untap. Okay. Going to grab an island. Then I'm going to play Archaeomancer and grab the Snap. And I'll pass. They're going to Thraben Charm me. I guess I counterspell. Here they're looting. Discarding Strands. 2 cards in hand. They gate the cat into a 7/7. Get in for 7. Okay. 2 cards, huh? We have a Flicker. Alright. High Tide. High Tide again. Archaeomancer. I have a counterspell. I'll Flicker here. Flicker here. Another counterspell. Okay. So now their hand is all known cards. We can make infinite mana with Snap. They make a treasure token. And we just have to draw. Let's Mancer. Grab the Snap. Cast Muldrifter. Draw some cards. Play a land. Snap this. Make some mana. And I'll just Flicker. They asked me how I win. Now our opponent, this opponent was like very nice because here we are. I have infinite, nothing they could do, and they're moving on to the next game. Much obliged. I'm going to bring in a Giga Drowsia. We will cut 2 scrolls and a snap. I think Dawnbringer Cleric could be okay, actually, but maybe it's not necessary. We can bring in Counterspell, Negate, Submit. So far what I've learned is I think maybe 4 Tide, and so is this a keepable hand off of just Brainstorm here? The rest of it, is the rest of it good? They keep 7. I'm going to keep for science. I don't know about this though. 1 land keeps are my bread and butter of having to concede. All right, they play CawGate. We're going to try a Brainstorm. We find lands, so I'll put back land and land. They play a Heap Gate and a Squadron Hawk. They get 2 Hawks. I'll play a land. I'll bounce your Hawk. Pass the turn. They have 9 cards in hand. Plays a Citadel Gate. I think I counterspell the Hawk and then evoke a Mulldrifter. Oh, this is a negatable thing. We'll evoke a Mulldrifter. Draw 2 cards. I found High Tide. Need a second one. We're getting close. Another High Tide. Unfortunately, they can just pretty much do whatever they want. I'll try Archaeomancer for the snap. They might have a counterspell in hand. They might have a Red Blast in hand. They have a Red Blast, it looks like. Then they can make a treasure with their Heap Gate. They play a Squadron Hawk. Gets the last Hawk. They cast a Preordain. Now they have counterspell still. We have our own Preordain. Top the Fam, top the Chancery. Play the Chancery out. So, I guess next turn, are they going to try to kill me here? They have 12 damage right now. Maybe I'm dead. Get in for 7. So we'll go land, play High Tide. They have a Red Blast, so I'm going to try High Tide. Alright, they just have me dead. Unwind. Weird thing to be playing. I'll just go to the next game. So, the counterspell wrecked me. Could not win because of that. So let's bring in the Dispel. Get rid of the counterspells. 1-man interaction seems better. Alright, we'll submit. Okay, I'm on the play. I'm looking for lands and spells. Did not get there. Okay, this is a bit better. I think I just play out the Fam on turn 2, getting rid of the landscape, and then see if I can work my way up to casting Lorien Revealed. Let's play the landscape and yield until their end step. They play an island and Preordain. So no turn to Journey to Nowhere. I'll grab the plains, take my turn, play the Familiar out. This next turn I could play the Mortuary Mire and have 4 mana for the Lorien Revealed. They play a Modern Age, discarding a Chancery. I'll play my Mortuary Mire out. I actually have Giga Drowse. So I could Giga Drowse 1 island, and then untap and Lorien Revealed. Then I'm working on just fighting on the stack. The Giga Drowse will no longer be useful. They discard an island, plays a Sea Gate, probably on red. They choose white. Let's tap your land. Go to my turn. I have a Mulldrifter, but I want to draw 3 cards, not just 2. Now I have Dispel, Negate. Okay. They play another land on red. Please no Journey to Nowhere. Looks like they have a Squadron Hawk. So they won't be able to counter my Mulldrifter if I just cycle for a land and then play the Mulldrifter. Interesting. They have a Snap. I'll cycle for an island and then cast the Mulldrifter. We have a Negate. I really need my Mulldrifter to stay around. We have lots of interaction. If I draw an Archaeomancer, you can probably win. They have a very large amount of gates. This is +8 damage, but they can only do +4 right now. Gets in for 2. Okay, you got it. Journeys to Nowhere. Big problem. Gets rid of the Familiar. Find another Familiar. I'll play that. They have a counterspell. I'll use a Dispel. Play Island. I can High Tide, snap and replay the Mulldrifter. High Tide, snap, replay. Where do I go from there? I just have a Mulldrifter in play and 2 negates. I think I'm going to snap and replay the Mulldrifter right now. We'll draw some cards. Okay. So High Tide. Snap is mana neutral right now. They're getting in. We have 2 counter spells in hand. They play a Modern Age. Discarding a Hawk. So they have 2 more Hawks in hand, I guess. Is this enough? Probably not. Play Island. We'll try a Muldrifter. We draw 2. Another Drifter. Guess I'm passing. I'm trying not to die. We're both just seeing who's going to die first. They cycle for an island. So they're going to have 3 unknowns right now. I suppose I could double block the Vector Glider. They discard a Hawk. So I have Hawk, 5 unknowns in hand. Well, actually they play the island, so 4 unknowns. They're not attacking. Should I cycle the Lorien Revealed or just try to draw 3? Let's take a draw. We have an Archaeomancer now. So I can High Tide. Let's start with a draw 3. Red Blast, I'll negate. Spell, another counter spell from my end. Okay, Unwind. Unwind is an interesting tech to try to beat the High Tide decks. They have 2 unknowns in hand. 3. They can fully gate a creature and try to kill me. Okay, so they're attacking for 6 plus 7. That's 13 damage. We can High Tide, Mancer, Snap, go infinite. So no blocks. High Tide, Mancer, High Tide, cast a High Tide, cast Archaeomancer, get back, snap, bounce. So we just have to make it to the position where we can win the game. Play Familiar, start with a Preordain, double snap, okay. Play Archaeomancer. We are going to take the snap. So we will snap the Archaeomancer over and over, and then we'll use the Archaeomancer to get back a Lorien Revealed. So snap this one, untap. Snap this one, untap. And we'll get back the 2 snaps. Make a bunch of mana. I'll try getting Lorien Revealed and casting it for a draw 3. Snap an Archaeomancer again. Cast the Archaeomancer. Get back a Lorien Revealed. Draw 3 again. It's better to have the draw 3 than to cast Preordain. We have another High Tide. So I can play the Chancery. Pick up the Plains. Cast Brainstorm. Get rid of these 2. And then show them the Flicker. Well, GG's, Cornetto. That was a tough battle. We'll see you and everybody else in round 5. Round 5. Trying to pick up that 4-1. We're going to mulligan this hand with no lands. I guess we keep this. We'll just put back an island. We have Snap to accelerate potentially, and we have Negate. I'll lead on an island. Our opponent has mulligan to 5. Maybe they're bogling. Here's an island, and go. They're on island. Interesting. Fairy Seer. Not great, but I think we play the Chancery turn 2 anyway, because if they ninja, we can snap the ninja and go up on mana. Although, they have mulligan to 5. They likely kept a turn 2 ninja. They go top, bottom. You find a High Tide. I'll play a land and pass a turn. I'm looking to snap their ninja, I think. That'll set them back like multiple turns. Assuming that they have no land drop, but they have a ninja. They get in. Kept the ninja. So Hacker, I think, is fine. They play a Fairy Seer. I don't know if I can beat fairies with this version of the deck. I kind of need to draw a Familiar immediately so that I can actually, like, so I can get a blocker for this ninja. Double High Tide. Okay, Chancery, pass the turn. We could win out of nowhere if they tap out this turn. They play an island. Getting in. Take 3. Any ninjas? They have yet another ninja. Okay. They flip the ninja. Why didn't they ninja their Fairy Seer then? Strange. I'll play land. Snap this. Oh, I messed that up. Oh god. I have a Dispel. So we can go High Tide, cast Negate, untap. I'll have 4 mana. Still gonna negate it. Untap. I'm just gonna go to the next game. I am so far behind. Like, We didn't really have anything I needed. I needed familiars. I needed like creatures to block on the ground. Bring in all these faithfuls in the Giga Drowse. Counterspell. We will get rid of the negates. Get rid of all the merchant scrolls except for one. Where are we at now? Dawnbringer Cleric is okay. Let's go down 2 high tides. Let's go down. What am I going to do here? Get rid of the Dawnbringer. So 2 and 2. Just trying to get into that Giga Drowse. But the Faithfuls are there to block. Okay, we're on the play. We have a cantrip. Seems fine. It stinks to lose to a mulligan to 5. They mulligan to 6. We'll lead on an island and a preordain. Looking for... don't think I want the plains. I'll keep the preordain though. They lead on an island of their own and a fairy seer. So our plan is to preordain and then chancery. Cast the preordain. So we have island. I'm gonna bottom the Mancer, off the island, play the chancery. This next turn, because we have 3 mana, including the chancery, we can snap their creature and then play the Mancer for snap. They get in. I will go land. We can preordain, but then they'll spell stutter me. I'll try preordain. They might let it go. Okay, flicker bottom, Florian top. Pass. They get in for 1. No ninja again. And no land. They played a land. Miscreant. Okay. Now they can counter a 3-drop. Let's cycle. Grab an island. Play the island. Try Archaeomancer. So they have to have counterspell. They use a counterspell. Getting in for 2. No ninja. Do I think they have another counterspell? They might. Plays Harrier Strix. I will attempt to cast a Muldrifter. I have to have counterspell again. They didn't. Yay. We're going to block the Fairy Seer because it is like the one thing that can get them value at this time. You could also block the Miscreants. They have a mutagenic growth. I'll take 2 damage. Let's try a compulsive research on myself. Discarding a land, discarding this. Lay out a floodplain. I will attempt to snap a Miscreant. I have to discard the hand size. They spell stutter. Gets in for 4. No ninja. Play a familiar. I think I can take it now. Spell stutter again. Counterspell. You have a dispel. Pretty annoying. Fine. Brainstorm. Found a familiar. So let's put back the Giga Drowse and the snap. Play the land. Put the FAM on the table. They have 5 power in the air. They cast an Of One Mind for 3 mana. So we can't block. Let's attempt to evoke a Muldrifter. Draw. Finding counterspell. Flicker Drifter Island. That worked. Okay, we found a Faithful. Play the Faithful. We'll snap your Miscreant. Untap. Play Archaeomancer. Get back Flicker. And then flicker the Muldrifter. Might have a Spell Pierce. They didn't have a Spell Pierce. We're at 8 life. Faithful is going to take the game here. I don't know. They have many new cards in hand, though. They cast an Of One Mind again for 3 mana. Plays an island. They have a Fairy Seer in hand. They Strix, tapping down my Muldrifter. Getting in for 4. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be enough. All I'm looking for is a High Tide. We found Merchant Scroll. So, Faithful. Scroll. Grab a High Tide. Cast the High Tide. This is infinite life. Let's flicker here. Then I can get back the High Tide. Cast the High Tide. And now I have infinite mana. Flickering here. Get back to flicker. I will go ahead and fetch out an island. I need to draw into my Mortuary Mire, so there's no reason to, like, actually let's use the snap on the Archaeomancer. Untap. Mancer. Get the snap. There's no reason to make a land drop because I'm looking to try and find my Mortuary Mire, but we get the game. Faithful too good. Try again. So this hand comes out way too slow. I'm going to mulligan. Okay, I think this could be better. Let's keep and get rid of one Chancery. We can turn 1 Brainstorm. Our opponent has mulligan to 5. I don't know if turn 1 Brainstorm is great. We can do it. They play a Fairy Seer. We died to a mulligan to 5 before. I don't want to die to a mulligan to 5. Finding a Mulldrifter. I'm going to Brainstorm. We'll put back Snap and this Lorien. And we're going to cycle on this next turn for an island, play the Chancery. Take it in for 1. So upkeep, cycle, get an island. We Chancery. Pick up the island. So an interesting thing we could have done there if we had the island, if these two were untapped, we could cast a Preordain. And if they go for, so here, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's not enough. All right, I'll pass. I was thinking I could double snap and then cast the Mulldrifter, but we need 1 more land in play because I'm already tapping this land to cast the Preordain. Getting in for 1. They go Hacker. I'm going to try Brainstorm. Put back Compulsive and Scroll. And then I will attempt a snap on the Hacker, which they probably have a Dispel. They did not. All right, sweet. I assume that they cast their Fairy Seer now. Then I can snap it and play a Mulldrifter. And they have to try to find lands. They can keep playing their Scry 2 for 1 mana. They go bottom. We'll tap 2 lands, snap your Fairy Seer, untap, Mulldrifter for 5 mana on turn 4. We draw another island, so I can cast another Mulldrifter. They play an island, plays a Fairy Seer. So I could scroll for a counterspell and then cast Preordain here. I'm a little bit afraid of them and their double island. I should probably just Preordain. Maybe I find a familiar, or I don't know if Faithful is good enough. We know that they have mutagenic growths in their deck to just power through my Mulldrifter. They went top this time. Found a familiar. All right. Play the familiar. Spellsetter Sprite. So now we will snap the Fairy Seer. That means the Spellsetter Sprite won't counter anything. And then we can just hardcast our Mulldrifter number 2. And then I will not get in. They have 4 mana. I have a single counterspell, which isn't great. I can scroll for the Giga Drowse. They play a Fairy Seer. We know they have Moon Circuit Hacker in hand. They go bottom now, playing a Miscreant. Another Drifter. Took out all my negates. Let's try a Preordain. High Tide and Preordain. So I will bottom the Preordain, top the High Tide, cast another Preordain, Brainstorm, and a land. I think I top, and then draw with the Compulsive. Oh man, discard a land, play the land. I guess I'm passing. Should I scroll now? Don't think so. Let's see what they do. We'll shove in front of the Spellsetter and the Fairy Seer. Maybe they draw a Miscreant and they get to cantrip. Another Fairy Seer. 3 cards in hand, one of them is a Ninja. I will try a Brainstorm. Found the Giga Drowse. I'll put back Chancery and Lorien. Then we'll just go ahead and they have 4. I can Merchant Scroll right now. See if they have an answer. I'll grab Flicker. Okay. Now they have 4 lands in play. I have Giga Drowse for 4. They're going to send in the team. We'll do some blocks. If they want to use their mana, it's fine. Hacker, fine. They use a mutagenic growth. We'll go ahead and Flicker. They have a counterspell. I have a counterspell. Flicker will draw me 4 cards. Sick. And then I'll yield until the next end step. In which point I will Giga Drowse them. Okay. Boink. Replicate it 1 time. Target this. Let's start with a High Tide. And then We have a flicker. Let's just Archaeomancer, get a High Tide, cast it, evoke a Mole Drifter, draw 2 cards, snap goes infinite, have another High Tide. Let's try Brainstorm. Did not get anywhere, but we found a High Tide. Good Mortuary Mire. Okay, I'll put back this one and this one. Maybe I just High Tide again. High Tide. I'm doing it. I'm High Tiding. 4 mana. So I can draw 3, drawing past the Brainstorm, but 2 of them are dead cards. Or I can, like, I'm just going to do it. Draw 3. Another Familiar. Draw 3. Preordain. Can we find anything? Found the Snap. Wow, how lucky. Snap. Untap. Play Familiar. Mancer. And this is infinite because now we have infinite mana into Flicker. All right, I untapped all my lands, and then I tap 2 again to Flicker. We'll Flicker here. I only have 18 cards left. There's another Archaeomancer. We will get Snap, and then Flicker for a Preordain. We have 1 Mole Drifter in the graveyard. Preordain, bottom, top the Mancer. With the Archaeomancer, do I have a counterspell? I have a counterspell in the graveyard. Snap your creatures. Go ahead and attack in. Maybe Flicker for Snap before I do that. Our opponent gives me the GG. We'll attack in. All right, we got the 4-1. Getting kind of creamed in the round loss. What did we lose to? Trezzerker on Demir Fae. It's a tough matchup anyway, even if you have the Modern Age. Maybe we want to make some updates to the deck. So let's take a look. Overall, post-board, it seemed like 2 High Tide and 2 Merchant Scrolls were pretty good. And that opens up 4 slots. So you can play some number of Faithfuls into the main deck and then make some other decisions. So you could cut these 2 and these 2, play 4 Faithfuls, and that's pre-boarded against red. Or you can go for the Modern Age Deep Analysis, more value-oriented build. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video.